morning, everybody. Welcome to the farm. Thank you guys for joining us again this morning. So today we're going to be talking about chicks. So of course you have to have the gratuitous chick cam. They are doing great, as you can tell. They do not like the camera, so but they're doing awesome. So they are. Oh man, I've even forgotten, about 3 to 4 weeks old now. No, probably about 3 weeks old, something like that. So, yeah, they're doing good. We've recently replaced their feeder and their water in there, so they can hopefully eat a little bit easier and drink a little bit easier. But anywho, so they're doing good. We are super happy. I'll bring this up. There you go. They're doing super good. I am super happy with them. So trying to be out here as much as possible and trying to socialize with them to get them used to me and to our family, because that's huge, but it's difficult sometimes. So thankfully, they're doing really well with the cold. So it got down to about 27 degrees or something like that last night. So I was hoping that they were going to do really well, and thankfully they did. So as you can tell, they didn't even care. They really do not like that camera. I'm sorry, but oh well. So if you guys have any questions, anything about raising chicks, or you're thinking about having chickens, post them in the comments, and I'll get to you. So these our plan with chicks is we kind of mentioned it before in some of our videos, and some of our comments, especially if you follow me on Facebook and whatnot, is we're trying to be more sustainable in our living here. Not because we're like crazy preppers or anything. I mean, I guess you might call us that. But mainly because we want to try and be sustainable with what we have, and live more kind of like traditionally almost. So we're trying a method of where we're going to hatch out chickens. We're going to keep the hens back in the back with the rest of our chickens, and then we'll see how the roosters are. If there's probably a good 3 or 4 roosters in here, just 50-50. And if they're actually a nice rooster, like not a complete jerk like Fabio is right now, then we might replace our rooster. But otherwise, in general, the roosters are going to become dinner. So I know that's not like a super popular thing, but that's I think the way God intended it, and so I think as long as we treat the animals with respect and eat, be thankful for the food that they provide and all of that stuff, then yeah. So that's kind of the plan with the chickens. So we'll see. For now, they're, like I said, about 3 weeks old. So we're going to keep them in this brooder box that you guys have seen before in other videos on our channel. And we're going to keep them out here until they're about 6 weeks old. So that's, another 3 to 4 weeks or so. And that's because we want them to get fully feathered out. And they'll get, quite a bit bigger in those 3 weeks too. But once they've been fully feathered out and they're a little bit bigger, they can handle the cold really well and really easily. If they can handle the cold really easily, they can be outside with no problem. Now, the question comes in, really hoping they don't poop on my phone, because that's my phone in there. The question is so how do you mix them in with the other chickens, right? Because we have 8 hens and a rooster. Well, the rooster's still in solitary confinement right now, but how do you mix them in with the hens? Because what's going to happen is there's a pecking order, right? That's where that term comes from, is in the term getting henpecked. So what would happen if you just put these out there first time brand new with the other hens? then they would harm them. They'd kill them. So, hey, good morning, Larry. How you doing, sir? Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. So, I know you and Auntie want some chickens, right? So, anywho, the plan is that here in a couple weeks, and that'll be on our main weekly video, is we're gonna construct like a little fenced off area inside of the hen area back there. And that's what we've done before, but instead of cheap fence, and there's a second little chick shack back there that we can use for raising these chicks. And once they're about 2 months old is when we can introduce them to the rest of the flock. And they're big enough so that they shouldn't get picked on too much, but it's going to happen a little bit, and that's okay. They have to establish their pecking order in order to get everything copacetic. And that'll take a few days. So, and then about 3 months old, we'll make the decision about the roosters and what we want to do there. So, they are freaking out. It's mostly because I'm here too. So, they do not like the fact that I'm sitting here next to them. But, yeah. So, Larry, how are you doing this morning? What are you guys up to? I do have to say, with the cold this morning, it was the first real good freeze this year. So all of our goat waterers and our chicken waterers out back froze solid. So we definitely had to bring out some boiling water and just to de-thaw the waterers. I mean, the lines are still frozen for a while, I'm sure, but holy cow, it was cold this morning. So it's a great time to still have issues with our heater. So the sad news about chicks, and you'll see this in this next week's video, I think, is we did have a 9th chick that was kind of like a runt. She super tiny, and she had that splayed leg, but I think she had some other like genetic issues. I'm not sure. She was super tiny, and was not growing whatsoever. She stayed the same size basically since birth, after like puffing out with her fur, and she never really got big. And her splayed leg just got worse and worse and worse, and she would just get trampled on by the other hen chicks or rooster chicks or other chicks, And we tried separating her and tried doing a bunch of stuff for her, and none of it worked. And unfortunately, she passed away yesterday, so that was kind of sad. But secretly I knew it was going to happen. It just was a matter of time, unfortunately. But anywho, yeah, we definitely changed our food and water containers. As you can tell, well, you actually can't see. So we were using these cup waters, which are actually really great. And, we may switch to them out here in a little bit out in our duck and chicken area. But because right now it's just that big watering thing and it causes issues a lot. It's super dirty. But we switched them to a bucket with a nipple water in here because it's just so, we had to refill that thing so often. So, anywho. Chemex guy. Yeah, I actually don't have a Chemex. So in terms of coffee, we have our Keurig, that we use for fast coffee, like this morning, unfortunately, because I just was in a rush. I woke up way too late. But I just use a French press because we have a bunch of different coffees that I get at the store, or like some Death Wish coffee. What's the other kind? want to say Stumpworks from Seattle. They have it at Albertsons now. That's some really good coffee. But so I'll either have to grind it if it's whole beans and then put it in the French press. The Chemex, it seems like a lot of work. I'd love to try it, but it does seem like a lot of work. So yeah, and 27 here at 4. Yeah, it was really cold. So I was kind of secretly hoping for snow, and I think I would check my phone, but it's in the chick pen. I think on Tuesday or Wednesday, it's supposed to be really cold again, and I don't even know if it's going to get warmer between then. But it's supposed to rain as well, so they're actually calling for possible snow. I think Tuesday night here, so that'd be super cool. For those who aren't in the local area, we get snow. I don't know, Larry. What do you think? Probably like maybe once a year, but it's never really. It's only really like a dusting. I can't remember if it was last year we got like a couple inches of snow. Or was it the year before? I can't remember, but usually it's just a dusting. We don't really get a whole lot of snow, sadly, because that would be a lot of fun. We love snow. We're just not like living in the north kind of a family. we couldn't deal with it on a long-term basis, is what I'm saying. So, I know one time when we were living in New Mexico, it got super cold and it snowed probably like 2 feet in a matter of a day, and that was like unheard of there. And people were going nuts. They didn't know what to do. So I'm afraid of what would happen here in the high desert if we had that. So. But the cold definitely cleared out the air. Here, let me sit my coffee down. I'll show you guys the valley here, because it definitely cleared out the air, and it looks amazing. It looks beautiful. Trying to do this backwards is difficult. Yeah, it definitely cleared up the air really well. So it's super nice out this morning. Oh. Yeah. That's why it's ideal, right? Is because it's gone shortly afterwards. So, yeah, we're hoping for it. So we'll see. That it would sure be nice, you know. Oh, girls, boys, whatever. Holy cow, still freaking out. But anywho, yeah, the view up here is nice. So it's really fun because you could see when like snow or rain is coming across the valley, and you got really good sunsets. And so, like our channel art we just posted, and I just posted as my profile picture on Facebook, came 2 nights ago. I just took my drone up really fast, and yeah, that was really fun. It's hard to capture it in pictures just because it doesn't do justice to the to how beautiful it is. But we can also see SpaceX launches from Vandenberg too, so that's kind of fun. So the only disadvantage is that we're on like the downwind portion of the small municipal airport. So yeah, so we get planes all the time. I don't know if you can hear that one. Not a big deal, but they definitely fly overhead all the time. Hi guys. Finally starting to calm down a bit. So that's our plan with these chicks, kind of like what we mentioned. If it were up to me, I would almost want to alternate between chicks and ducks, and I wouldn't want to raise a whole lot more ducks. I love our ducks; they're super cool, but other than duck eggs, they're kind of and just a fun creature. They're kind of useless. But I say that because you can actually like do really well selling duck hatching eggs. So
that may be something that we look at doing, raising some ducks. But I definitely want to raise more chickens. So after these guys get close to going outside in the back, I'm thinking about putting a bunch, yeah, sorry, start over. Can't do a retake on live here, but I'm thinking about taking our rooster and putting it back in with the flock for a few days, and so we can get fertilized eggs again for a little bit, and then trying to hatch out probably the same amount, maybe 25 to 30. See what we get, and do the same thing. Because with this, we'll net like, I mean, the odds say four hens, right? So we have eight chicks, so we'll get 4 hens, which it's not bad, but I'd like more. So we so how I won't go into too much detail, but it only takes a couple days for the rooster to fertilize everybody for like a couple weeks, basically. Um, it it's basically stored in the hen, if that's the nice way of putting it. So if we let our rooster out and for just a couple of days, he will get the job done, and we can have fertilized eggs again. So and then we'll do an occasional check on eggs before we start putting them in the incubator, because you can tell just by cracking them open. If you've seen or looked it up on YouTube or Google, they'll have, instead of like a dot, they'll have like a bullseye in the yolk. It's kind of hard to explain, but if you Google fertilized chicken egg, you'll see what I'm talking about. So, and we'll do a video about it too for sure, because it's a super cool process. I mean, you guys saw the end of that hatching video where we hatched these guys, and oh man, that's just so cool, and it's so much fun for kids. So, um, but yeah, because we this with only netting 4 hens, we really, I mean, that'll plus us up to 12 hens, and we really want more. We found that basically we have a lot of people who really like our eggs and want our eggs, and so I was sitting down at work, and holy cow, we had like probably 4 or 5 people come up and ask for eggs because I gave one person eggs. So I'm just gonna start bringing eggs in and leaving like a money jar basically next to them in the fridge at work. So yeah, um, yeah, it's people just like happy, free range chicken eggs. I mean, I completely get it. I think they taste a lot better. And these are cool because if you looked and saw in our hatching video a couple weeks ago, they are definitely multicolored. So I wouldn't consider any of them blue eggs, but they're definitely brown or green eggs. So we have lots of different colors of eggs, and that's just because they're mostly Americanas is what we have, which is a Easter egger type of chicken. So you can kind of see that in a couple of them, in a couple of the more brown ones. Excuse me. So once again, oh man, sorry, I gotta go blow my nose. 1 second. Okay, I'm sorry. I've been terrible about taking my allergy meds this week, so especially sitting next to the chicks, it's wreaking havoc right now. But anyhow, for those of you guys who may have just joined us or are watching this after the fact and recorded, we're just hanging out with our chicks today, talking about chickens and raising chickens. If you guys have any questions, comments, maybe you guys have done this before, you can post it. If it's live, I'll answer it right here. We're watching this after the fact. I will get the comments, and I'll respond to them. That's my goal here, is to respond to every single comment on our YouTube channel here. So yeah, let us know, and we will get back to you. Oh, thankfully, our chicks have calmed down a bit, and it looks like they're relaxing. So let's see here. They're finally getting some sleep. That's cute. They're awesome. What does this look like? So the chicks are super cool. They're just a fun animal. I will the one warning that I'll give you if you're thinking about getting chicks is they are the gateway drug to farm animals. um, that's basically what happened to us. Is we got chicks 3-4 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. Wow. When we were in Buckeye in Arizona still, and we got them, and they're just they're really easy to take care of. You got free eggs. It's not economical. Like the cost of feed is greater than just going to buy eggs at the store, but I think they taste better, and you know that they are better for you and everything because they're free range and they're happy chickens and all that stuff. You'll get used to that, and then you'll just want more. So we started with 6 chickens, and then we got to our height where of like 32 chickens here in California right after we got here. So looking at like last winter time frame, we had 32 chickens. And then we got our 4 ducklings and our gosling, and then we got our goats and our bees and all that stuff. He's looking at us. That's so cute. And so but we have learned a lot since then about, how to care for and protect our animals. Not that we were careless or anything, but we went from 32 chickens down to 9, and we did butcher like 9 of those. But so that means we lost like 14 chickens over the course of 6 to 7 months. 5 of those were to a raccoon or a possum. We lost 5 of them when they were chicks to, I think, a bobcat. And a couple here or there to just, being sick and having issues, which happens to everything and everyone. So, so you can't really control that. The bobcat thing, we have taken a lot of measures to combat that for the future, because that is something that just can't happen. We definitely put up our animals every night, especially our goats. We put them into their sheds, and our chickens we do now. Because they're just basically defenseless. Yeah, we have Clarence out there as our guard goose, which does a questionable job of being a guard goose, but he's cute, so it's okay. But you can't actually fight back against anything, obviously. So that's the problem, is that they're just basically defenseless if we get anything back there. So we put a ring spotlight camera back there to kind of alert us, because we have some windows out our bedroom that we can see the animal area, just in case. And then we have an electric fence up around the chicken area right now. And eventually it's going to be around the whole thing and on the outside of the white vinyl fence around the whole enclosed backyard area that we're working on, slowly but surely. But for now, it's just around the chicken area. And so the thought behind that is that the raccoon or the possum or whatever it was, it's one of the two. They got back there and killed 5 chickens. It just tore them apart, sadly, which was a few weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago. Oh, maybe it was longer, like a month and a half. But they just tore them apart, ripped them to shreds, unfortunately. And the door, it was at night, so they must have snuck into the coop somehow. We're not sure exactly, because we didn't catch anything on the spotlight camera. Mainly because it doesn't record full video unless it senses motion. So it's just a snapshot every 30 seconds, and it probably got in and out really fast. But so we put up the electric fence around the chicken area just to kind of keep them out. I have not, purposely shocked myself yet with it. I don't think I'm ever going to do that. But I did accidentally touch it through a shirt last night as I was bending up, and thankfully it wasn't bad. It's just a little 2 mile guy. So the electric fence really I mean, even if it was the more powerful, like 30-mile chicken fence ones, it's not gonna really hurt you that bad. So, it's not gonna permanently hurt you. I'll say it'll probably hurt getting shocked by it, but it's not gonna permanently, injure you. But it will keep the predators out if you hang it right. In this case, we hung it on the outside of the chicken fence, so like, if a raccoon or a possum or something tries to climb up the outside of the fence to get inside, they're going to get that shock, that zap at the top of the fence line and then go back down. That's the goal. You don't want it on the inside, so just fall into the chicken area and be content in there for however long. But eventually, we'll put it on the entire section of the yard, and that'll actually be safer and better because our daughter's getting tall enough now that she could reach it. And while she wouldn't get hurt by it, I just don't want to have to deal with it. So our goal is in January, we're going to put in the rest of the fencing, probably at the latest, maybe over Christmas break. Maybe if my dad is here, I can put him to work and he can help me get a bunch done. We're going to do a whole lot in the backyard actually with it once we get that done. So we got to put in 4 more segments and then we can put in our double gate and then we can fence in or chain link in our garden area back there, which will be super cool. And which is huge, like garden area that's just for gardening, and it's going to be chain linked off so that way the goats and the chickens could get in there, but the goats necessarily couldn't, and we can control access to it. And then we're going to continue the white vinyl fence down to where the playhouse is. If you've seen like our profile picture on Facebook, that kind of stuff, you can kind of get the picture of what we're doing. But eventually that'll all be fenced in back there. And what we want to do, and this will relate to the chickens eventually, is we're going to be able to let our goats out. We're going to be able to let them free range in our closed-in backyard area. So they can take care of the weeds back there without fear of them, getting out in the front gate or, sneaking out somewhere or like losing sight of them because they can get into all sorts of trouble. Just being let out by themselves. And the other thing is we can let our chickens out at that point too. And the chickens can go out. They'll take care of bugs and all sorts of stuff. And then obviously the goat and the chicken poop is great fertilizer for around the yard and everything. So as my sister pointed out, that our grass is dead. It has been dead since install, and that's a whole nother story. It's not for now, but they with that being done, we're gonna try and plant some I think wildflower something or other in there. So yeah, we're gonna kind of put some like a wildflower area out there, and instead of the big huge section of grass, but we are going to put some Bermuda grass back there too. We're going to seed that here. We should have done it already, but we didn't. So basically we're going to get it. We're going to find a place to get a bunch of seed. We used to be able to in Phoenix. We had to hook up, but we got to find some place that does it here where we can buy a big bag, like a 50-pound bag of Bermuda seed. And then once it starts to get like not freezing, we'll go ahead and spread it, and then fertilize it and all that stuff. And then it should grow. And then same thing with the wildflower seeds. So we also want to look at getting a greenhouse. That'd be super cool. So that would go outside of the immediate yard, kind of over by where our orchard is going, by our well and that kind of stuff, just because we have plenty of room out there that we're just not using right now. And I envision like a very large greenhouse, like even like a hoop house, kind of, it probably look like grown weed or something, but I would love a huge one, like a big, like 12 foot by like 48 foot long, like hoop house, or a permanent greenhouse type of structure. So that would be super cool. So we're going to look at doing that here. I know it's kind of like the point is to have it in by spring and to be planting stuff out there right now, but that's just not in the cards right now. We just don't have time. So we might get started and start it over the summer, bit by bit, so that it's in. Because I have some ideas where we do like a wood foundation or a wood like mini wall, like 2 or 3 feet, and then we do piping and cover it with. You do like that corrugated plastic, that kind of stuff, and put some vents in. Or you could buy one. I just don't like the quality of the ones you buy. No poop on the phone yet, so that's good. I wonder if I could put my GoPro in there. I'll try that next time. But anywho, so that's the goal, and so that way, we do want to start growing a ton of stuff here. We have enough property to do it. The problem is just getting water out there to grow it and keeping pests and predators away from it. That's the huge issue. We actually tried to do it before, and we bought some plants and bought a bunch of stuff. Probably not a bunch, probably like 10 to 12 plants, which would have yielded a lot of fruits and veggies and stuff. And we planted them, got water out to them, everything. It's out there by our well, and the animals had eaten them in 2 days. It was very unfortunate. We weren't going to waste that money again. So I think a lot of the problems was chipmunks and squirrels and stuff, just nibbling on all the plants. So I think we're gonna have to put up some sort of fencing. I don't know if we're gonna have to do like a little mini fence and like electric fence type of thing, or I don't know, but we'll figure it out. That is kind of a next year project. This year we're working on building out our animals and everything else like that. So our like I kind of mentioned last week, our goal is in April, May we'll start breeding one of our females. I think we're going to start with Aurora, the white one, just because she's had kids before, so it should be easier than trying to breed Merriweather for her first freshening, is what they call it. And then we'll kind of alternate them, so that way they're giving birth about 6 months apart from each other, and so that way we kind of have a constant supply of goat milk. So that would be the goal. And then well, obviously when the kids are old enough, we'll sell them, and we'll put pictures up on here on Facebook and on YouTube, and then we also are on another social media app, if you guys haven't heard of it, called Barataria Times. It's super cool. If you guys are interested in chickens and raising, livestock and gardening and all that kind of stuff, this app, Barataria Times, is awesome. It's ran by not Owen Benjamin. I am sorry, I can't remember his name, but it's super cool. It is a non-political app, so there's no political stuff. It's literally just about hanging out, learning, growing from each other. They do meetups all the time. We haven't made it to one yet, but I highly recommend it. Yeah, you do have to pay for it, but that just keeps the app running without censorship. So check that out, Barataria Times. So anywho, lots of good people on there. So anywho, we got about 10 minutes left here. Oh wow, sorry. There's allergies out here. What's sitting next to the chicks is terrible. But our goal is to do this once a week. Once we get some members and that kind of stuff in Patreon, we'll do, and once we get bigger, we'll do smaller live streams, or we can bring you on video and that kind of stuff, and kind of help guide and coach on raising animals and that kind of stuff, But the other thing that we got planned is we got a newsletter that we got going on. We'll start advertising that more. We just started that, so check the links. I'll put one in the description of this video later. It's not there right now, my apologies. But when we do, we'll have a video coming out later tonight, and the links will be there. And that's just going to have updates about us. It'll talk about videos that we've released. We will try to aggregate any sort of home farming news, whatever if it makes a difference to having a homestead or a family farm, then we'll put that news in there as well, and that's completely free. So just make sure to register for that, and that'll be coming out weekly. Yeah, and we got a lot of stuff coming up on the farm this upcoming year. It's going to be a really fun year for you guys too. So we are going to we're working on getting some apparel and stuff like that. We have a really talented graphic designer helping us out. So he's working on helping us with some logos and stuff like that, and we'll work on getting those on some sweatshirts and t-shirts and that kind of stuff, and those will be coming around probably late Christmas time, early January. And then in January we have a big announcement that we'll get some there'll be some publicity, and it'll be a lot of fun. So we're really looking forward to that and can't wait to talk some more about it. So anywho, so that's kind of the future plans for the farm and what we're looking at doing. Once again, if you guys have any questions, type them in the comments, and I will get back to you. But if there's any other animals that we're looking at getting, I don't know. I don't think so. Any other types of animals, I should say. I looked at pigs. My wife doesn't want to do that because they would be for slaughtering them, and that would just be too hard for her. Chickens, we're still getting used to that, so maybe someday pigs, but not right now. She also doesn't really eat a whole lot of pork, not for any like moral or ethical reason or anything. She just doesn't like pork, so that we aren't going to get pigs or anything else like that. The one thing that we did kind of look at, we'll probably evaluate it in the future, is cows. Possibly dairy cows. That would be a whole lot of work though. Birthing, calves and stuff like that. I just don't see that as realistic right here and now for us. But we could look at getting some beef cows. We have enough property here. We don't have any grass. So we'd have to feed it alfalfa and straw and that kind of stuff. That whatever. But looking at maybe getting a calf at an auction or something like that, and raising it for 3, 4, 5 months so it gets beefy. Yeah, no pun intended. And then get it butchered. And we have there's a guy here in Barstow. He is super well known, I guess. I didn't know this, but everybody knows this guy, and he's a mobile butcher. So he'll come out, butcher your animal, and then he'll get whatever cuts you want and do it all, and it's a really, really good deal. So in general, if you've never done that before, from what I understand, is you're looking at, for the calf, you're spending about $600 to $1,000 for a calf, and then to get it butchered and everything, you're looking at around $1,500 to $2,500 or so. So for a full cow, you're on average about $2,000 is what you're spending on it. But you will literally get 2 stand-up full freezers, not like half fridge, half freezer, 2 full freezers full of steaks and ground beef and like short ribs, and you'll have enough meat for like a year at least for a normal family. So yeah. Sorry, 1 second. Anywho, oh man, there we go. So that's kind of that's really the only thing we're looking at, is maybe a beef cow in the future. But the problem is that we'd have to get it butchered, and my wife and daughter and son would get attached to it, and that would be super difficult for them. So it's difficult enough for the chickens, but we're getting there. It just takes some time. We are such like city people that we're just getting used to having, being on a farm. So, but yeah, that's the big plan this weekend. Let's see, man, working on videos later this morning, and then some service on our truck, and then cleaning out the garage. The garage has been an absolute disaster. We were able to fit 2 cars in here, Then we got a tractor, and we put the tractor in here. But then we emptied a storage unit, or 2 storage units that we still had going here. And this was, I don't know, 9 months ago or so. And so we put everything in here. It was empty, and then we put everything in here, and then it was full again. And it's been a disaster. It's so embarrassing to look in here. I mean, you guys have seen it in videos, unfortunately. But so we're working on it, and it's definitely in progress over the last couple weeks. And so I'm hoping to make a lot of progress on it today. That would be ideal. And the goal would be to be able to put in a car in the garage as well. So I'm thinking probably the Versa, just because it'll fit in here easier. I don't know, though. So that's the goal of what we're trying to do. We also have a bunch of stuff we're trying to sell and offer up so we don't have to give away. But yeah, that is the plan for sure. Yeah. We got, if you can hear it in the background, we got a bunch of 3D printers going. So I'll talk about it in the video that you'll see. I'm editing it today, so it'll probably come out tonight. When we hung up Christmas lights, or wanted to hang up, so back up. I thought about hanging Christmas lights in November, and we bought Christmas lights, but I never got to hanging them. But we were trying to figure out how I was going to actually hang them, because there's nothing really good to hang them with here. You can't really put a nail in the eaves or a screw, because it's like stucco all around. It's an enclosed stucco eave. And so we weren't sure how we were going to exactly do this. Well, I ended up designing a small Christmas light clip. and I was, well, I'll just list it on Etsy, and see what happens. Like, nobody's going to want to buy these. Well, they were printing solidly day and night these clips for the last month. And I didn't even have time to print my own. So finally, about a week or so ago, I cut off the listing and said, no more. I need time to make my own. And then we're also making some fun stuff for Christmas gifts that I know some of you guys might eventually see. So I'm not going to show you what's on there right now. But just some fun stuff for Christmas. So some little puzzles and some stuff for the kitchen. So that's the sound. You probably heard that in some of the videos, and that's what's been going. So anywho, yeah. I love it. They're so curious too sometimes. So they're all trying to say hi. Let me do this here for a minute. Oh, not me. There we go. So only got a couple minutes left, and then I got to go inside. It's starting to get cold. Coffee's out, and got to eat and get to work for the day. But if you guys have any questions, please put them in the comments, and hopefully I'll get to them now. If not, I'll get to them after the fact. That is our goal here, is if you ever have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever, suggestions, that I will answer them quickly. Oh, Red, our hurt chicken, hurt hen. I hadn't talked about her a whole lot. I won't be able to get any pictures of her because she's underneath where I have the iPad. But she's doing good. She is doing good, thankfully. Her foot is still healing a bit. The one that we cut open is doing pretty good, thankfully. So it's still healing up, and I don't want to put her outside until it's actually like healed over. And not only because I don't want it infected when we put her out there, but I don't want the other hens to attack her because she's hurt, because they'll be able to tell. But the other foot, I don't know what we're going to do. I think we're just going to have to leave it because it's just in a way that it's like enveloped, so that we'd have to like do some major cutting. I'm not prepared to do that. I feel like I would damage her or something. So we put some silver on it, some colloidal silver to try and help. But other than that, yeah. She's doing good though. She's eating. I can hear her right now. She's hanging out. She'll get back there eventually with the other hens. So, yeah. Then we're going to do some work in the chicken coop this weekend. That'll be the star of this coming week's video, or the subject. We're going to go visit a friend here in the high desert who has a chicken farm. We're going to learn from him a little bit about things and get some advice from him about what to do. So on things. So that should be good. So Anywho, we really appreciate you guys coming out and joining us this morning. Thank you guys for all of y'all who came out, and the few of you guys who stuck it out till the end. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. So make sure to check out videos coming out. If you aren't subscribed, make sure to do that onto the YouTube channel. And we will catch you guys next time. So thanks a lot. We appreciate it. And we'll leave you with some chicken pictures.